got picnic tables.
You already got them? Why?
Well, you got Justin's text.
Oh, I've been in here working.
Properties. Because Robyn was like, we are not going to mess them over. Like, no, we should mess them over. And his wives, and Robyn finally goes, she looks at me like, who are you? You're the man. I mean, it's like not sold, but we got the offer. We got the earnest money.
Not the offer, but
Down that I'm the problem. But it had to do with the fact that they were trying to get me to sign.
did they got the earnest
Oh, yes,
money?
earnest money is cleared. We have a full offer with earnest money. Well, it's time for me to become a better man.
We don't need to make it dramatic.
Honey, we're going to close on Coyote Pass soon, and it's for the whole thing.
Wow. This is really happening. Wow.
Are you okay with that? Boy, nothing like the woman you love making you say to yourself, well.
A terrifying confession. What if I told you that everything you thought you knew about sister wives, the marriages, the breakups, the tears, the betrayals was only the surface? What if behind cameras, behind edited conversations, behind polite family meetings was something even darker than what Meri Brown says she was too afraid to reveal? Tonight, Meri breaks her silence. Tonight, the threats, the manipulation, the schemes over millions in property, and the final collapse of the Brown family empire are finally exposed. This is the story the cameras never showed you. This is the moment Meri says she finally realized. Kody and Robyn weren't trying to protect the family. They were trying to control it. Stay with us. How the family fell apart, the hidden truth. Before the world saw Meri walking away in season 18, the audience finally heard Janelle shout, "I'm done," before Christine revealed years of spiritual and emotional abandonment. Meanwhile, there was something else going on, far from the noise. The fight over money, the fight over Coyote Pass, fight over the legacy of the Brown family. While fans thought the breakup was fueled by jealousy, favoritism, and romance gone wrong, Meri claims a deeper, more calculated strategy was unfolding. So the wives noticed one by one. Every decision, every conversation, every financial agreement somehow led back to one person holding power, Robyn. But it wasn't until the property documents surfaced, until the lawyers got involved, that the truth finally began to unravel. Meri's private revelation. I was just a placeholder. Meri tells us she stayed silent for years, not because she wanted to keep the peace, not because she hoped for reconciliation, but because she was terrified of what she calls Kody and Robyn's retaliation. As Meri says, every time I questioned something, every time I pushed back, there was a threat. Not always direct. Sometimes it was the silent treatment. Sometimes it was a warning about finances. Sometimes it was, well, if you want to stay in the family, you'll do it our way. Meri's voice breaks as she admits, I realized I wasn't a wife. I was leverage. Leverage in what? In a battle for assets worth more than the entire Brown family income for a decade. The secret property deals, what the public never saw. Let's rewind. While the show made Coyote Pass look like the Brown family's dreamland, a symbol of unity, the reality was far from it. Documents are showing that. Divisions were uneven. Loans were transferred. Titles were modified. Promises were rewritten. And Meri? She was left with almost nothing. When Meri asked questions, she claimed she was told, it's temporary. We'll fix it later. But later never came. Instead, she claims the more she asked for clarity, the more the atmosphere became aggressive. Not physical aggression, but emotional, financial, psychological pressure. Meri says, that's when the threat started. Don't make this difficult. Don't start a fight you can't win. We're trying to help you keep your place. But her place, as she puts it, was already gone. The twisted threats, Meri's most shocking claims. This is where everything changes. Meri says that during the legal discussion over property, Kody and Robyn used fear and guilt to get the wives to sign documents quickly, often without proper explanation. She remembers one moment in particular. I told them I needed time. I said, this doesn't feel right. And Kody snapped, not yelling, but in that cold voice he uses when he's furious. He said, you need to decide if you're with us or not. She says Robyn echoed the pressure. Robyn would say, this is what the family wants. You will only make things worse. But what she meant was do what we want. She claimed she was warned that pushing too hard could destabilize the family and she would be blamed. That's when Meri realized they weren't asking, they were demanding how the money was really flowing. Now we get to the financial core. Meri explains that for years, her income from sister wives, her LuLaRoe earnings, her contributions to family accounts, even her savings, were often pooled for the family. But who controlled the pool? According to Meri, Kody and Robyn. She says Robyn's household became the financial nucleus, the center of all decisions, distributions, and resource allocations. At the same time, she was being discouraged from rebuilding the B&B on her own, discouraged from pursuing independent business ventures, and discouraged from maintaining her own separate income. She asked why and was told, "It's not about you. It's about the family." But when she asked for access to the family funds, radio silence, lawyer meetings, what really happened behind closed doors, Meri remembers sitting across the table from the attorney shaking hands, racing heart while Kody assured her it was all routine. But according to Meri, the lawyer's wording and Kody's wording didn't match. She says she realized that he wasn't trying to protect me. He was trying to secure the land for Robyn's kids. And the way she describes it, the pressure was suffocating. Constant reminders of her spiritual wife status, subtle warnings about losing her place, emotional guilt trips about hurting the family, fear of being cut off from bonuses or filming income, threats of being seen as disloyal. Meri says this very moment broke her. "It was the first time I realized that love had nothing to do with it anymore. This was business, and I was the expendable one. Robyn as a puppet master." This is the part that will fire up the fan base. Meri doesn't call Robyn a puppet master, but she comes pretty close to saying it. She describes Robyn as always sitting beside Kody during negotiations, always speaking up for the family, always pushing the wives to trust the process, always encouraging compliance, always reminding Meri of her importance right before asking for something. Meri says, "I used to think Robyn was innocent, but she was present for every conversation. She knew exactly what she was doing." And the scariest line, Robyn never raises her voice. That makes it worse. When Meri finally snapped, Meri remembers the breaking point. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't a scream. It was a moment of stillness. She looked around the room, papers on the table, tension thick in the air, and thought. And for the first time, she says out loud, "If I stay, I'll lose myself." That was the moment everything changed. The aftermath. Is the family's legacy ruined? Once Meri stepped back, everything the Browns tried to hide became unraveling in public. Janelle revealed Kody's financial favoritism. Christine identified emotional neglect. Children came forward with their experiences. Fans saw the cracks widening. But Meri says the saddest part is this. The family didn't fall apart because we didn't love each other. It fell apart because someone needed control. Whether that someone is Kody, Robyn, or both. That's the question haunting fans. Meri's final message, "I'm done being silent." Meri ends with something powerful. Something she says she wishes she could have told her younger self. They used fear. But fear only works when you stay quiet. "I'm done being quiet." Her voice is trembling not in sadness, but in strength. "I'm finally choosing myself." Soft piano music. A deep breath. The story isn't over. The Brown family built their empire on the concept of unity. But unity means absolutely nothing without transparency. And love means nothing without respect. Meri's story is not about property. It is not just about threats. It is not about betrayal alone. It's about a woman reclaiming her voice, even after being silenced for over 30 years. One thing is certain. The Sister Wives universe will never be the same. The file that changed everything. It began with a folder. A simple manila folder that production crew cameras never showed. A folder Meri claims she wasn't supposed to see. Updated parcel maps, loan reallocations, and a proposed final distribution plan for Coyote Pass. But what caught Meri's attention wasn't her name on the document. It was the absence of it. She turns page after page. Christine's name appears. The name Janelle appears. Robyn's name appears over and over. And then nothing. Her name is not mentioned. Meri says her heart sank. It was like I'd been erased from my own family's future. She would later describe this as the moment she realized that the system wasn't broken. It was designed this way. Kody's empire plan revealed. The producers had heard outlines of what Kody called his master vision, but Meri claims the real version was far more autocratic than viewers knew. The plan, she says, went like this. A unique residence held in a joint trust. All wives and children dependent upon the trust. Kody, listed as primary authority. Robyn named as secondary decision maker. No wife was able to separate her share without Kody's approval. Meri said in interviews that Kody had pitched this as protecting us from legal vulnerability. But what she heard was, you're all locked in, and Robyn and I hold the keys. She now believes this unified estate would have given Kody and Robyn near total control over every woman's money, property, and future. The recorded meeting. But Meri secretly recorded audio on her phone because, she says, I didn't trust anyone anymore. On that recording, which she shared with legal advisors, she claims that it's possible to hear Kody pressuring her to sign, mentions of loyalty, veiled threats for those who resist. A comment from Meri sounded like a threat. You don't want to be the person that screws it all up. Meri claims that Robyn's voice chimes in softly. This is what the family needs. If you can just trust us, it'll all work out. But Meri says this gentleness was strategic. She plays soft because she knows Kody is intense. But they're aligned. She's not less powerful. She's just quieter. This recorded meeting later became part of Meri's consultation with her own lawyers. The children weren't supposed to know, but they did. One of the older daughters, whose name is not mentioned, had a private confrontation with Meri, asking, why is Dad giving everything to Robyn? Everything goes through their house now. Dad won't even answer us unless Robyn agrees. Meri remembers how the children were beginning to see the same patterns. Favoritism, financial funneling, emotional manipulation. In the Brown family, the adults may have kept quiet, but not the children. Meri's private attorney delivers a warning. When Meri took the documents to a lawyer outside the family, she expected reassurance. She didn't get it. Meri says the attorney scanned the paperwork and then asked her point blank, why would you sign away your property rights without compensation? Meri was shocked. She told him, it's for the family. He replied, it's for one family, and you're not in it. But because finally someone had said what she'd been too afraid to say herself. Once Kody and Robyn felt hesitation, Meri says the atmosphere changed. Suddenly, phone calls became colder. Kody stopped talking about anything except paperwork. Filming became more tense. Producers sensed a storm but didn't know why. She describes one chilling moment where Kody told her, Meri, if you can't be part of this, maybe you shouldn't be part of the family at all. She says the room went silent, and in that silence she realized, this wasn't a marriage. It was a contract, and I was refusing to sign it. The day Christine found out. Christine already felt emotionally removed from the family when she unraveled parts of the plan that required updated documents bearing her signature. As Meri indicates, Christine was shocked. This isn't unity. This is control. Kody reportedly became incensed, telling her, you're messing up everything we've built. Christine later confided in Meri. This conversation became the seed that led to Christine's eventual escape. Janelle sighed the missing money, but when she tried to follow the money for Coyote Pass, she reportedly found funds she thought were evenly divided between, weren't being distributed as promised, and certain bank transfers seemed to favor one household, Robyn's. That's when Janelle allegedly confronted Kody. Why are my contributions going toward Robyn's mortgage? And according to Meri, Kody snapped. From that moment on, Janelle's trust was gone. The producers realized something is wrong. Janelle clams up. Christine avoiding group scenes. Kody's defensiveness. Unusually tight control Robyn had over what was discussed on camera. One producer later told Meri off the record, you're the only one not aligned with their version of the story. It was a warning. A silent acknowledgement that this reality show was depicting a reality that wasn't totally real. The final offer meeting. The paper in front of her had one key detail. Meri asked what that meant. Kody told her, it means your placement depends on your commitment to the family long term. She stared at him. Long-term? Placement? This wasn't a marriage. Robyn added. The moment Meri says she saw everything clearly. Meri's silent exit from the meeting. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She didn't argue. She got up, gathered the papers without signing them, and said no more than. Meri walked out without looking back. She later said, if I had stayed in that room, I would have lost every piece of myself I still had. The aftershock across the family. Everything exploded when Meri refused to sign. Robyn is said to have panicked. Janelle supported Meri. The children whispered among themselves. It was the moment the whole dynamic cracked open. The wives saw Meri stand up and realized they could also stand up. Kody made one final push to reclaim control. He called Meri late at night, telling her, "You're making a mistake you can't undo." Meri told him, "I'm done being scared of you." According to Meri, Kody paused. Her response? She hung up. The legal disentanglement begins. Lawyers got involved. And for the first time, the network saw an outline of what had been happening. You just saved yourself from losing everything. Robyn's reaction, we just wanted unity. When asked in later interviews why she and Kody pushed so hard, Robyn reportedly broke down crying, insisting, "People are twisting this. We were trying to keep the family together." But Meri says the tears didn't change anything. And that wasn't all. Meri's closing statement, "This is my truth." Meri concludes her story with a message for every woman who watches. Don't make love a bargaining chip. Don't let fear make your decisions for you. I lost a family. Fade to black. A storm breaking into sunlight. The Browns will never be the same. But behind the scenes, there were secrets, manipulation, and the struggle for power that tore it all apart. It means finding strength after decades of silence. And now, finally, the truth has come out. The kids were watching. They weren't supposed to be part of the legal drama. They were never supposed to know at whose expense, who was being eliminated, and who was being bribed by promises of inheritance later on. Doors closed when they used to be open. Uneven Holiday presents the sudden disappearance of once free access to family money. Another child shared. The Brown kid awakening. Logan and Madison's disturbing discoveries. The older children, especially Logan and Madison, began digging. Not vindicatively, but out of genuine concern. They had been financial mediators of the family for several years. They saw receipts. They saw transfers. And according to family insiders, they both learned the same thing. House number 5 was receiving disproportionate support from Robyn's. Logan allegedly confronted Kody. "Dad, these numbers don't make sense. Why is so much going to one place?" But Logan wasn't a kid. He was a grown man with financial training. Resources funneled in one direction. A child calls Meri in tears. One night, Meri received a call from one of the teens in another household who was crying, confused, and scared. Meri was shocked. She never wanted them to feel caught in the middle. For Kody to weaponize her struggle against the kids. Meri later said, "That was the first time I realized the kids were pawns too." Christine's children were particularly observant. After all they had witnessed. The explosive arguments. Dad's absence. Truly once asked Meri. Meri didn't answer. But inside she was breaking. In reviewing transactions, they found that land tax payments absorbed by one household. A buried clause that suggested a primary matriarchal beneficiary. That beneficiary? When the children pieced this together, they realized. What's actually going on? Photos of updated Coyote Pass maps. Emotional check-ins. A plan to confront everything. A plan to protect Meri, Janelle, and Christine. Meri learns about the group chat. When the kids finally showed Meri the evidence they had gathered, she reportedly cried in relief. Not because of betrayal she had seen. She had already endured that. But because the kids had seen the truth on their own. For years I felt like I was alone. Then suddenly, I wasn't. The children's discoveries were verification of everything she'd been afraid to vocalize. This has become one of the most whispered about off-camera moments in the family's history. The adult kids, a few of them, confronted Kody on a secluded hiking trail near Coyote Pass. Not screaming, just raw emotional truth. One child said, "Why does Mom always get less than Robyn?" Another insisted, "Why are family funds used without everyone's consent?" A third asked. Kody exploded, accusing them of disrespect, betrayal, and listening to the wrong parent. But the kids didn't back down. In that instant, something changed forever. The legal fallout explodes. The combined pressure from the children and the outside lawyers forced a radical revision of the Coyote Pass plan. 2. It called for financial transparency. 3. The legal representatives demanded equal rights. 4. Kody could no longer unilaterally allocate funds. 5. Her favorite structure collapsed, decentralized overnight. Instead, it was the battlefield that ended it. Several things went wrong. Construction couldn't begin. Loans were unpaid. Legal disputes delayed progress. The wives would not sign without clarity. Kids questioned everything. And the emotional damage was irreparable. If they had just done what I asked, we'd be living there already. But the opposite was true. She won't say who it came from, but sources near the family say it was from someone very close to Kody and Robyn. They warned her, "You need to stop talking to lawyers. It's hurting people. The truth hurts people who are hiding something." The voice on the other end went cold. "You're making a mistake." Meri hung up. The first time in her life, she wasn't afraid anymore. The kids stand with Meri publicly. When Meri finally went public with her exit, she expected backlash. Support from the children. Some messaged her in private. Some visited her B&B. The message was the same. "We believe you." The final blow to the Brown family empire. With the wives gone, with the kids outspoken, with Coyote Pass in chaos, he did not succeed in his plan. His control slipped. The centralized structure disintegrated, and the story he tried to promote for years. Kody raged. But this time, the family didn't bend. This is just the beginning, but in the ashes of the old system, something powerful has emerged. Women who refuse to be silenced. And as the secrets continue to unravel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for upcoming twist.